Okay, quick tutorial on how to take apart and remove the engine from the 2-litre Ford Mondeo 2003 to 2007 estate model. Lots of things you need to do. Here it is, taking the engine taken apart. Some of the tricky things is there's a subframe underneath here that needs to be removed. If you're removing a subframe, make sure you mark out where the subframe fits in there. It's best to remove the engine by dropping it, raising the whole car and dropping the whole thing rather than trying to go upwards with the engine. One of the big reasons is, for example, here's the power steering pump dangling there. If I was to go upwards, that would be impossible. You couldn't go upwards, but you can go downwards. Make sure you remove the steering column. Make sure you disconnect it from inside the car, and then make sure you secure the car's steering. I've taped mine, so make sure it don't turn. I think it will trigger off some sort of airbag problem or something like that if the wheel turns. This is a difficult bit here, getting to that spot there. This is the engine management system. To undo that, you basically need to take off this cover here to take off the strut. To do that, again, you have to remove the subframe, which I didn't mention. There's a big subframe underneath here. All the suspension hangs on it, and unlike usual, when you've got a ball joint at the bottom here, you can just pry bar it, it'll pop out. That's not possible with this design. What you got to do is go through, disconnect the whole load of pipes, drop the subframe down at least 150 millimeters, 15 centimeters, and then once you drop the subframe, you can. There's a bolt at the back of the A-frame or the wishbone that goes in downwards, which is daft. If I did it in that way, it would have no problems. That's the difficult bit. Somewhere along the line, you will have to. If you look on the battery, there's the positive part of the battery, the red terminal. There's two bits that fit in it. I can't seem to find it at the moment. There it is. There's a nut that joins two red terminals. That will have to be undone before you drop the engine, because one part fits to the engine, the other part fits to the fuse box. You'll have to remove the radiator, and the radiator is stuck onto the condenser for the aircon. There's a couple of screws just there, one there and one that side. Undo them, and the radiator slides downwards. You've got to hang everything down like this, hang everything up so you don't drop. You need to remove the power steering pump. Here it is. Disconnect it. So once you disconnect the power steering pump, that one there, the job is to move it backwards so you can drop the engine. So that's why the radiator's got to come down. To get the radiator down, you must take the front bumper and the big metal bumper behind the plastic bumper. Okay. Also, what's difficult? Yeah, the suspension is difficult to get. You must get that subframe off, and the subframe is very heavy. So I put a long piece of wood going right across with a jack, and I lowered it a little bit, disconnected. There's lots of suspension, then load it all the way, making sure nothing catches. Make sure you label all your connections and pipes and cover everything, so not like fuel pipe, make sure no dirt goes in. because the whole job was to change the clutch. There's the gearbox end, all that was shot to pieces. No even point looking at that. I'm going to change the seals in there, transmission drive shaft seals, I can't remember what you call them. I'm going to change the seal in there, possibly. I'll check that out, probably take this apart. That's your slave cylinder, possibly change the seal in there. The engine's out. There's the flywheel off. Now I'm going to change the seal in there and the pilot bearing as well. I'm going to change that. Made sure before I took the engine off, I took out the catalytic converter. Don't want to damage that. I'm going to clean that with soapy water or something. I'm going to make sure I check these pipes here, make sure they are not clogged. The EGR system was totally blocked on this car. Totally blocked. There's a pipe that fits in there. Took that off before I took the engine out. Totally blocked. I'm going to service the starter motor, put new brushes and that in it, and also the alternator. There's the water pump, I'm not sure if there's a leak in there. Thickness is okay, quite easy to change. The power steering pump fit there. I'm probably going to just tilt out the inlet manifold and the exhaust manifold, make sure clearing out crud. I'm not going to take the top end of the engine, or not going to try and get to the pistons. I think I haven't got enough time at this moment to do with all that. Oh yeah, the other main thing is getting the drive belt off. No, the auxiliary drive belt off this side was difficult. Okay, there's a square nut that fits into the tensioner just here. You need to. I made my own square kind of tool, put it in there, and there's not a lot of space. I'd use some sort of spanner, and like a ratchet spanner, not your normal ratchet spanner, but your spanner that's flat. It's got like a ratchet in it already. That one. I'll show you the tool. I think I've got it in my other video I made. This is it. The thing there. I made that. And I put, I think it was this one on it. But you don't need to do that actually. I did all that. What I did in the end, what I found out when I took the alternator bracket off, this is the alternator bracket, when I took the alternator bracket off, that loosened this tensioner anyway. So when I'm going to put it back, so I'll have that tool ready, but I'll make sure it's kind of ready to loosen, and then I'll put everything on, put the drive belt on. This model, for some reason, the front eye for lifting it is fine. There it is. There was meant to be an eye at the back, and that was missing. So that was annoying. This is not, that thing there, look, it's quite flimsy. It's not strong enough to lift the engine out. So I didn't use that. Instead I bolted back on alternator bracket right here at the back, and it's really strong. Look, wrapped it around once. This is a 1 ton strap, and I just guided it around. These are not really lifting. It's this thing that's taking away really. It's the first thing wrapped around. Make sure I use one of them leveler things. Set at 500 kg. Set at 500 kg. This winch. With the bumper off, I can get quite close to it. I had to lift the car up quite a bit. Some bricks, and it's higher than this. This is a 6 ton axle stand. You can get them at Clark's, or where you would get them is Machine Mart. Got lots of tools in there. Got a pretty good shop, cheap as well. Good tools. This was another couple of ratchets higher. And that gave me enough clearance to wheel it out. And look, with this winch put some boards there. And the inside, when I was with this winch underneath the car, in front of the car, I lowered it onto it, lowered the engine onto it, but pretty much without these balls, and I just pulled it out. Alright, hope that gives you some tips, hope that helps. I've got to do a lot more cleaning, especially EGR system, shot the pieces, fix a few sensors that are broken. Hopefully this will be running really well. Oh, okay. How do you tell if your flywheel's busted? Here's how you tell. Moves really a lot. The new one just moves like you have to really push it, and it just hardly moves, and it doesn't rattle like this. And all my flywheel bolts, nuts are all crushed to pieces. When they weren't cut, they were shaved at the top. And the way I stopped the flywheel moving was really, I just used cable ties to put the nuts back on for the cover of the clutch. It's really one cable tie, you could just do two. Well, I'd set an angle like this, so the nut was here where my finger is, and another one that side. As I turned it, it couldn't turn. That was enough to undo it, but I used an impact wrench, power tool, to do that, an impact one. But again, machine might do a good one. It's £68, really powerful. So you don't need an air system. Or I could do one with one, but I haven't got one. So I use that, and took them off pretty easy. Alright, I hope that helps.